Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. I was just washing my hands with this clean, fresh water. Speaking of water, I have a treat for you. Let's go. That's better. I'm Josh Galermo. In this video, for our semester project, you will see Ryan Walsh at the Hanson Golf Course in Wauwatosa, where the Menominee River rises and spills over onto the golf course. You'll also see Gavin at the North Hills Country Club in Menominee Falls, where runoff flows into some retention ponds and the water running through the golf course flows into the Menominee River. Finally, you'll witness Nick Maricini giving descriptions of both the water treatment process at the Racine Water Treatment Facility and point source pollution at the Charles Street runoff pipe. After all that fun, Clayton Harlan will send you off with a quick recap and conclusion. I hope you enjoy.
Along the banks of the Menominee River sits the pristine Hanson Golf Course in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. This area is about 10 feet lower than the street, allowing flooded waters to flow into this section of the course. Hanson Golf Course, a public golf course, is unplayable when hole 14 is flooded. The greens become very soggy and would be very tough to play golf on. Also, the golf course uses fertilizers to maintain the greens. After the water from the Menominee River floods the greens, the returning water carries these fertilizers back into the river. Another issue due to the flooding is that after the water level returns to normal, there are pockets of water remaining. These pockets breed mosquitoes. According to Patch.com, in 1997 and 1998, there were 100-year floods. In 2010 and 2014, this occurred once again. When there is heavy rain, the runoff gets into the Menominee River quickly, causing the water level to rise. This portion of the course, with its proximity close to the river, sits a few feet higher than the river. This allows the water to flow onto the course. This section of the course is a way to provide flood relief.
This is the North Hills Country Club Golf Course in Menominee Falls. We are on the 18th hole right now. The body of water being impacted by North Hills Country Club Golf Course is the Menominee River. They produce non-point source pollution due to the runoff of fertilizers used to keep the grass looking green during the golf season. The runoff of fertilizers into the river can affect both the water quality and the health of organisms living in the water. The runoff of fertilizers cause algae blooms in the water, which can affect the water quality. When the algae dies, it uses up all the dissolved oxygen in the water, causing a low dissolved oxygen level, which also affects the organisms living in the water, because with the low dissolved oxygen, there won't be enough dissolved oxygen for the critters in the water to use. Some solutions to this problem are to use less fertilizers and to not allow the fertilizers to drain into the water by creating buffer zones. This is the Oakwood Park Pond. The water held in the pond helps to slow the amount of water that goes downstream that will eventually end up in Lake Michigan. If this retention pond was not here, there would be two areas affected by this. The first area would be the Oakwood Park and the neighboring houses. They would be affected by flooding when there is a large amount of rainfall. The second area that would be affected would be downstream on the Menominee River, because with the increase in water, there would be an increase in erosion. Some other flood mitigation techniques that are not used at the Oakwood Park Pond would be flood walls, seawalls, floodgates, levees, and rain barrels.
This is the Racine Water Treatment Plant, located on 21st and Roosevelt Park Drive in downtown Racine, Wisconsin. The Racine Water Treatment Plant is where Racine County's gray water is treated. The plant is right on the shore of Lake Michigan in the southern bay of Racine. The water treatment plant contains all of the necessary factors of safe and effective water treatment. The process starts with sewage water entering the facility through pipes. The first step is filtering the water through bar screens and then using the Archimedes screws to move the water to higher ground. The water passes through the grit chamber and then the primary clarifier, where sludge and scum are removed. The water then moves to the aeration tank, where activated sludge bacteria is added to the water to remove harmful pathogens. After the aeration tank, the water and the activated sludge are transferred to the secondary clarifiers, where the activated sludge is starved and forms a clumpy flock. Flock is moved back to the aeration tank and reused to cleanse the water. The final step is to use Clorox to kill any of the remaining bacteria in the water. It is pumped out into Lake Michigan and will eventually be pumped in and out of the treatment facility. This pipe is located at the corner of Charles and 5.5 Mile. The pipe is a collection of pollution from the local neighborhood in Caledonia and drains directly into Lake Michigan. This neighborhood holds a dozen subdivisions, miles of roads, a couple gas stations, a shopping center, and an elementary school. There are many other pipes such as this one along Lake Michigan shore and in the rivers of the local park, sometimes turning the rivers into a brown color during floods and high levels of rain. The water can collect trash and litter from streets flowing into sewers. Road salt in the winter can easily make its way into the lake by running off sewer pipes and drains. Lawn fertilizers in sewers can easily make their way into the lake. Anything and everything in these sewer pipes will go directly into the lake, causing a point source pollution.
So we looked at the Hanson Golf Course. Much of the golf course is impermeable. It's an impermeable surface, which causes lots of runoff and causes major flooding problems. We looked at a flood mitigation pond. It holds a lot of water, so this prevents the flooding downstream, which is beneficial to MMSD for the control of the amount of water coming into their system. Another golf course, North Hills Country Club, has problems with non-point source pollution with the fertilizer they have on their grounds. We visited a treatment plant, which looks at the water processing, and then looked at a point source pollution, which was draining into Lake Michigan, which causes problems for the water and environment.